And we're live. Hi, this is Dr. Hockman. I am the medical matchmaker. I match amazing physician practices with amazing physicians. So if you are a practice looking for a physician, if you're a physician looking for a practice, or you're wondering what's out there, please let me know. I am so excited today to introduce Dr. Tsung. Dr. Tsung is a total powerhouse. She's a physician and a productivity coach. I know we all struggle with productivity. She uses AI. She uses how our brains naturally work with neuroscience and all those things which we are going to talk about. And she uses those to help us and our scattered brains become more productive and really enjoy life more. So, Dr. Tsung, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for
Or I
having
should
me
say
on the
thank you for
show.
coming today.
Thank you, thank you. I'm super excited to dive in. Super excited to share what I've learned throughout the years that I basically was forced to learn with my 2-year-old and 6-month-old.
Okay, so how did you get into this? How were you forced to learn it?
So I had always been a fairly efficient person, I think. And then my initial driver before I had kids was I wanted to finish what I needed to do, either in fellowship or residency or in med school, so that in the afternoon I can go out with my friends and hang out and have happy hour so that I don't have that thing weighing on my mind. And then so I was reading books, going to courses, seminars, figuring out like speed reading, memory techniques, etc., to get faster. And then I was efficient into getting things done. And then when I had my first child, 2 months in, I felt like I lost my sense of identity as a peak performer, as a type A person, because I had all these plans that I wanted to do to advance in my career in, being a coach. I was on maternity leave. I had all these social media plans, and I was feeding, pumping, sleeping, feeding, pumping, sleeping, washing bottles, etc. So it's like a nonstop loop. And so that was the very beginning stage where I learned to outsource everything by hiring a house manager who helped cook for us, by hiring a virtual assistant that helped me delegate, I basically delegated everything I didn't want to do to the assistant, launching, any sort of email campaigns, or any social media posts, etc. And then hiring later on a chef that would be able to prepare our meals. And then with our second child, it was just a lot of systems. Now, we talked about using neuroscience, getting into flow states, using ChatGPT as your cheapest assistant, using AI to kind of accelerate everything. And my assistant uses it too. So
That's amazing. We will definitely get into that. And I'm excited to learn how I can be more productive using ChatGPT. So if you're watching, stay tuned. And please say hi. If you're watching live, please say hello. I'd love to see you here. And if you're watching a replay, type #replay. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit. Let's dive into the neuroscience here, shall we? I tend to have a scattered brain, and I think of this like, so my husband is super organized. He has his systems, but when I try to follow his systems, it's like a computer where I just shut down. Like my brain just doesn't function that way. And I'm sure, this isn't just like my nerves that, it's not just how my myelin goes. Hi, Bruce. Thanks for saying hi. It's not just how my brain works. It's, my personality and my function. But I do a little bit here, a little bit there. Eventually, we both get to the same place. He's so organized. Gosh, I would love to be organized like that, but I'm not. So let's talk a little bit about the neuroscience of the brain, and then we'll go over a little bit how we can help.
Well, I am curious. What is like a brief sentence? What's his system, and what is the thing that was hard for you to, the barrier to adopting that system for you?
Oh my gosh. In everything we do, he has systems. Just the easy one is organizing our pictures. When we download our pictures into Dropbox, he's so good about organizing them into trips and year and all that stuff. And then I just go on and I'm like, and then I end up not doing it, which is so
Oh.
silly, right? Um,
No, I get it. I get
mm,
it. So in that case, it's very common in the physicians I talk to and my clients. It's because it's too big, and we need to chunk it down. Your brain
mhm.
feels like there's such an overwhelming amount of things to do. First, if you can't eliminate it, do you really have to do it? then the second thing, okay, I have to do it. Fine. Okay, then can you delegate it? Like your husband, just delegate it to your husband. If he loves doing it, give it to him or your assistant, whatever you have going on. But if you really cannot delegate it, then I would say it is definitely chunking it down so that your brain can see that it is achievable. So, for example, like say, how many pictures are there? Do you
Oh
think?
my gosh. Well, at this point, I'm behind by about a year. So,
Oh, okay.
mucho, muchísimo.
Like thousands, I guess.
Mhm.
Okay, so I guess you can organize by date, like a month then, if it's like 1 year behind. So potentially, what do you think you would be able to organize a month? I don't know how many pictures you have. Do you think it's feasible for you to organize a month's worth of photos in 1 day or 1 hour?
Yes.
Okay, so it would be chunking it down to that every day I will work on January, and then the next day I'll work on February and to organize those photos, and that's it, and I'll stop after 1 hour.
That's good. That's good. Thank
But
you.
but really, do you have to
My
do it?
husband
I don't
thinks,
know.
well, maybe that's part of the issue.
It's like if you don't have to do it, maybe there's some AI tool that can automatically,
That's true.
organize the photos for you.
True,
So
true. Well, thanks. Yeah. Okay, let's talk neuroscience. Let's nerd out here. I love nerding out on things.
so I think if you want to be productive and work with your brain, there's several things. If we want to talk the foundation, really, though, it's sleep, what you eat, and how you move. So that's the foundation. So once you take care of those three, then we can talk about ways to distraction proof. So ways to flood your brain with like different neurotransmitters with movement so that you can actually learn better. But if we don't talk about getting enough REM sleep or enough deep sleep, it's not even about the duration, the total duration of your sleep. It's about how much REM and deep you got. Then really everything else are just band-aids. So I would get a sleep tracker like the Oura Ring. I don't have it on me because I just took it off for lifting. But to know if you're having micro wakings and to know your optimal REM and deep and to know if you're getting in how much do you need? I need an hour and a half of REM and an hour and a half of deep. And it also detects micro wakings too that you may not realize that could be making you tired. So figuring out what's causing the micro wakings. Of course, no blue light, blue blockers before bed, no caffeine 6 hours before, etc. So, and then after that, then you eat things that doesn't cause food coma, typically whole foods, low glycemic index, no sharp rise or drop, because I've done the continuous glucose monitoring to test my responses to food. And every time I have the food coma symptoms is when the glucose is up in the 180s to 200s and it stays up for some time and it drops. So high peak and trough. So I say to people that what you eat actually determines how productive you are and how much money you can make if you're RVU based or if you're an entrepreneur. So if you eat crappy, you'll lose money.
Oh, good incentive to be healthy. Money talks, right?
Exactly, because I want to really motivate people I talk to, my clients, to do it. Then if they are motivated by money or motivated by time they spend with their kids, it just depends on what really drives you. What you eat can make you sit there like a couch potato, feeling like you want to play with your kids, but you just don't have the energy to get up to run around with your kids.
I love that. And if you're not getting enough REM sleep, you're not going to have the energy to make good choices and you're not going to eat well.
Yeah, you'll have a lower executive function in a way or lower discipline, just kind of like sometimes after ER shift, super stressed, super tired, I have no discipline. And then I just when I used to do like a lot of like nights in ER or the after ICU, I could feel a difference of just like wanting to eat as like a stress reliever in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So and after that, it's movement. If you can move like some sort of strength training, then that'll help you. You can flood your brain with the neurotransmitters. And then the second half of the day, depending on if you work out middle of the day, you can actually be energized instead of having the food coma type symptoms with lower energy. You can learn better and have better memory that way.
Okay, so let's dive into the movement thing a little bit because, there's so much that goes into exercise. and whether it's breast cancer risk or cardiac, and here we go into concentration. I mean, there's just no question that exercise is good for everything. But you're saying the morning strength training, it's not just that, like, make sure you move throughout the day, take a 5-minute break and take a quick little, like when I'm eating lunch, I pace back and forth so that I'm moving, but that's obviously not going to be enough. Are you talking more high intensity, strength versus cardio? What are we talking as far as that movement piece for our productivity and concentration?
Yeah. I think there's two different aspects to it. Like continuous movement, kind of throughout low level movement throughout the day is always good. Like if you can, because when you usually what you'll do is you have 60 to 90 minutes of flow, working block in flow, typically is 60 to 90 minutes. After that, you want to be able to pull back, recover, and that's when you can do some like squat jumps, some kettlebell swings. So go up and down the stairs, pace around, go outside, look at the trees, etc. So all of that is good because you need to do that, the pulling back and recovering before the next flow block. So you can dive in again and be just as productive the next 60 to 90 minutes. And then I myself actually do a midday after I've worked some time. I take 60 minutes, sometimes 90 minutes of actual lifting sessions for specifically, to build my strength, my bone density, etc. So that the afternoon, I'm also ready to go and my energy is not down. But my 60-minute of strength training myself, it's more for overall longevity, health benefits.
So you're saying you do a good, and let's back up for a little bit. When we say flow, we're talking about you're in it. Like you pick the thing that you need to focus on with no distractions. That's your flow. So you're doing your hour to hour and a half of flow. Then you're doing, it sounds like HIIT. I mean, jump squats are not easy. So you're doing HIIT for what, 10 minutes, 30 minutes?
It's up to you. It's whatever you want to do. Like sometimes I just do like 10 jump squats. Okay, done.
Oh, just a
Sometimes
little something.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like some kettlebell. If you have a kettlebell, mine's downstairs, but you just want to do that. You can do air squats. You can do some push-ups or some on the knee push-ups. Is whatever you want to do, or you just go outside and look around and walk around. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, got it. And then
It's
you
up to
flow
you.
all over again. That's a lot of flow for a morning, isn't it?
Well, usually you can get 2 blocks in, and they don't always have to be 60 minutes or 90 minutes. Flow is just a state where, you stop thinking about yourself and time disappears. The self-critic disappears. And then you're only in it for, because the process of you doing something is rewarding and you're not concerned about the outcome. So it could be in sports where you're skiing, or it can be like drafting like an extensive email, or you're creating slideshow content, etc., where you're just in flow and time just disappears.
That is so good. Okay.
And you can use music to get you there faster. Brain.fm is a type of music that you can pick deep work, creative work, etc. You can even pick meditation and sleep. Put on earphones, it'll get you into that state with the brain waves quicker.
That's interesting because when I try to do the flow, which is very rarely because I forget most of the time, I go onto YouTube and I pick something like deep flow music, or I type in something like that. And so that's interesting. I thought I was just, I don't know, doing like like the Pavlov's dog kind of thing. But no, this is actual real science saying get yourself into that flow state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm guessing, so tell me if I'm wrong here, but I'm guessing like plan what you're going to do in your flow time. So then when it comes to it, you don't spend time just kind of jumping from task to task and email to, social media, whatever it is. How do you organize that?
Yeah. So the first thing I usually, if I start working with somebody, is having a life vision. If you haven't done it before, then I would suggest doing a life vision of yourself at 85, 90 years old with full mental capacity and full physical capability, because you never know what medical advances are going to be like during that time. You could live probably up to that time if you actually take care of yourself pretty well starting right now. Anyway, what are you going to be doing? What hobbies? What are you learning? Who are you spending your time with? What emotions do you want to feel? What passive income do you have, or active business do you have even? What contributions do you have? Any charity work, etc. Where are you traveling to? Where are you living, etc. Maybe you have multiple homes all over the world. Who knows? And what are you teaching your kids, your grandkids, great grandkids, etc. So once you have that vision, then we know where you want to go. Then we work backwards, having the 1 year plan, 5 goals in 1 year to work towards that vision. And we eliminate anything that has nothing to do with your life vision, right? So first step is really eliminating what you're doing to be more productive. Then out of the 5 goals for yourself, if you have kids, so one of them is going to be your kids, one of them is your husband, one of them is yourself, like your own well-being, your health, your mental health, your physical health, and your mental health. Then you really leave 2 more for career. So you cannot start any new projects for your career until the first or second, those 2 are on more like automated, like I say, for example, I started a podcast, it started getting more automated, I have a process now. Okay, then I can dive into doing this other thing, etc. So once something gets more automated, then you can dive into the next project, but not starting 3, 4 career projects simultaneously, because you'll just be slow at it. And then from then you work backwards 90 days, then you work backwards 1 month, and you work backwards week, and then you work backwards, like say tonight, you will be setting, for everybody who's listening to this, set your top 3. Well, you need your 5 goals first. 5 goals for the year. Then tonight, you set your top 3 priorities that you will do the next morning, ordered in priority, as in the order you're going to do it, number 1, number 2, number 3. So the next morning, you're not even thinking about the first thing I got to do. Once I finish, the second thing I have to do. Once I finish, this third thing I have to do. Because in your morning is the golden hour of flow and productivity, and you want to protect that at all costs, and you don't want to make any more decisions or spend your attention on your phone or your email, and just go dive right in the first thing for you to tackle. So you make those decisions the night before. And you typically, the first thing you want to do in the morning is the hardest thing first, the thing that takes the longest, the thing that gives you like, I don't want to do it, etc. So like for you, probably organizing the photo album.
Oh, God.
If it really has to be done. I don't know if it has to be done, but if it really has to be done.
I just don't take pictures anymore. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, like accounting and tax and stuff like that. I know people hate that. That's the thing you would do first thing in the morning.
Taxes. Okay, gosh, I just feel like I can't write fast enough. There's so many good things here. I'm taking all the notes. Okay. Well, let's talk stress. So when we're stressed, we don't sleep as well, we don't eat as well, we don't move as much, and it's hard to organize your brain. So just say I was someone who, and I'm sure that is going to be at least one person watching this, because it's pretty common, who maybe is just having a year, like stressful life, kids having issues, spouse having issues, you're having issues, health issues, life issues, all the things out of your control. How do you make sure that your kids, husband, your health, career, all those 5 goals that you've set, or those aspects of your life, how do you make sure that you don't fall behind? How do you not get overwhelmed? What do you do in those situations?
Yeah, I think I had a similar circumstance with my first newborn, where I felt like I'm behind on business. I'm struggling, dealing with a newborn 8 weeks up to, month 1 to month 2, trying to figure it out as a first-time parent. And no more like date nights anymore. We used to have like lots of date nights. And after he was born, we watched Top Gun separately. I watched the baby. He went to the movies. Then we swapped. So I felt like relationship not there. didn't work out. I did work out, resumed to working out maybe 3 weeks later, but to find that time was really hard. I lost my identity as a weightlifter too. So the advice I was given at that time was, you if you have those 5 goals, you can't handle all 5 right now. You handle yourself first. So you look at the 5 goals and yourself. I looked at myself like, what do I need to actually get better control of everything else, which is chiropractor or massage or going back to sensory deprivation float, which is a float tank that activates my parasympathetic, which is the eat, rest, digest system. And also really delegate, like if you have the ability to delegate, then delegate these things that don't bring you joy out. I delegated a lot of things to my house manager so that the times I spend with my child is more face to face. We get as much presence with each other. So that would be number one. Look at what feeds you first, so your mind is clear. Focus on your sleep, so your mind is clear, so you can complete things for other people to get other goals done in half the time.
Mm-hmm. Sleep is always number one, right?
Yeah, it's the cheapest, but yet
It's the hardest.
the hardest.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Not just getting enough, but getting that quality. And
Mm-hmm.
for those of us who don't have Oura rings, and if Oura ring is watching, please, I accept gifts. Thank you. Kidding. Like for those of us that don't have the Oura ring, or I have my cheap watch that doesn't really tell me much of anything. How do you know that you're getting enough REM? Or if you just feel sluggish, what do you do about it?
The hardest thing of waking up early and getting enough sleep is going to bed early. That is the hardest thing. And so I used to set a go to bed or winding down alarm around 8:30. So around 8:30, it's like if you're deep into doing something, or sometimes you just like lose track of time, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it's like already 9 or 10 or 12. I don't know. So setting a go to bed alarm now, if possible, at whatever time, how much time you need to unwind, and then getting blue blocking glasses so that you're not exposed to the blue light in your household, especially if you're watching screens or TV, scrolling, etc. And prevent scrolling at night, of course. But if you have to get blue blocking glasses, there's a brand I use. I have no financial relationship with them. It's called UVEX. And it's something that, I mean, for the astronauts that we work with, we give them all blue blocking glasses because they have to shift all the time. Like either on the space station, they have blue blocking glasses, or they are traveling all the time, they have to shift. So it's super important to wear those glasses 1 to 2 hours before bed, so that it does not decrease your melatonin function or secretion. So you actually go to sleep quickly and efficiently. So you get your first half of the night, you get your deep sleep. So if you go to sleep late, you will cut your deep sleep duration. If you wake up early before you've had enough sleep, you'll cut your REM sleep. And that's when you wake up and your eyes are very heavy and tired. Most likely it's because you've cut your REM sleep. And I know some people try to wake up 4 or 5 to be productive, even though they've had a short duration REM and deep. And to me, I feel like getting more sleep, you will be able to finish what you wanted to accomplish faster than if you try to wake up early, but you're kind of sitting in front of the computer, half tired, and taking double the time to finish what you were supposed to do.
That is so true. Oh my goodness. So you're saying to wear the blue blockers, even if you're not watching screens, just put them on.
Because you have blue light around your
And
house. Yeah, so I have an orange one, an orange with light orange glasses, and I have really dark red glasses an hour before bed if I have to like stare at somehow go on the laptop real quick or somehow send a message, then I'm like super scared of it. So I have it available if I need to, because if you don't do that and you have nights where you're just really tired, but yet you somehow can't fall asleep, it's most likely because of that.
That is so interesting.
And you did ask a question about what would you do if you wake up tired and groggy. I know a lot of people do coffee supplements, etc. Um, First thing is making sure, like if I'm really tired for some reason, or if I'm sleep shifting, or if I did like a night shift in the ER, and actually get a really fresh, like freshly squeezed green juice for the micronutrients, and that actually helps me.
Hmm.
So rather than energy drinks and coffee, I'm providing cellular nutrients that's freshly
Hmm.
squeezed, delivered to me.
For those of us that don't have juicers, what about
Uh,
smoothies?
I order it from Main Squeeze, actually.
Oh, you buy it.
I buy
Okay.
it. Yeah, I don't have fresh fruits like vegetables like ready to be squeezed. So the freshest thing I can find the same day is usually a Main Squeeze near me. That's cold
Oh,
press. So
okay. And I'm looking online actually. It looks like these UVEX glosses, um, they're not even a funky color. They just look clear.
yeah, they're orange,
Okay.
orange clear glasses now.
Oh, some of them are orange. I see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Oh,
can.
see, yeah, yeah. I see
Mhm.
that. Very interesting. Okay. Hmm. Very cool. Well, and I'm just thinking ahead, like if I don't have a daily squeeze near me, I have other juice places, I guess, but um, just productivity wise, I'm not going to leave my house. But what about like if I were to make some green juices and maybe not squeezed, but maybe blended, stick them in the freezer, and then you just get them all out as needed. PRN.
Yeah, yeah,
That
that's a great idea too. So you
that
can
would do great,
freeze it.
right?
Yeah, freeze it, keep the nutrients. That's one way too. If you take any supplements, next best thing would be like the green juice powder, like athletic greens, etc., something like that. And any sort of supplements that you take, I take like a B complex, magnesium as well, etc. And then the one thing I do drink, I stopped coffee back in fellowship. I quit coffee because it was a I was like a coffee addict to the point I was forced to be, that way in fellowship and residency probably. And I was taking caffeine pills upon waking 200 milligrams so that I could function enough to get ready. When I step out of the door, I have 2 shots with me, etc. It was just crazy. I had like 4 shots plus caffeine pills. There's a caffeine pill bottle always with me. Anyway, so since 2017, I never woke up fully rested. And then so I quit coffee, never gone back since. But every morning right now, I do drink matcha. That is a ceremonial grade matcha. It has very, very low caffeine count. I want to say like maybe 60 milligram caffeine, depending on how much you put, of course. And it also has L-theanine, so it gives you the focus. And then there's no crash like coffee, no jitteriness, no palpitations, like heart pounding, and it's just like a slow, steady focus.
Huh. Okay, cool. Um, what do you think about matcha versus green tea? Because green tea has L-theanine as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, both are great options. I think I didn't like the taste of matcha. Ceremonial matcha is its first harvest of that green
Mm.
tea. It's basically green tea, but it's the first harvest. The antioxidant levels are super high, so the health benefits are there too. Green tea, of course, it depends on where you get it from. You'll see how green a ceremonial green tea powder is, so you know how damaged or not damaged it is, or how it's been oxidized. If you see the culinary grade matcha tea, that's kind of like dark brown, brownish green, it's been oxidized and more damaged, and you've lost some of the antioxidants already.
Interesting. We have a couple of questions from people from LinkedIn, actually. One person asked, Dr. Nazir, hi, asked if we can repeat the brand name of the glasses.
UVEX, UVEX, UVEX.
And then, hi, Terry. Terry asks, do you recommend a particular sleep tracker?
I don't get financial. Oura Ring is what I use, just so you know. But if you buy the Oura Ring, I don't really get anything. There's a $40 off coupon that I can give you. I don't know if I get something. I don't think so. So that's what
You
I use.
should. You should.
I could share. I mean, that's not why I recommend it. It's worked for me since 2019, and Yeah, I think if you lift, if you do any barbell work, yes, I have to take it off. But other than that, you have to remember to put it back on. But you charge it once a week, which is why I like it. So I don't have to remember to charge it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I have so many more questions. If anyone else has questions, please type them in the chat. I know I'm seeing the LinkedIn ones. If anyone's watching on Facebook, maybe say hi so I know if I'm getting those questions. I can always jump on and see. But let's take a peek. And I don't know if YouTube comes up, but that's really where things are housed more than anything else. Okay. Well, cool. Thank you so much. I have so many questions. There was so much more, but I would like to respect your time. So, for anyone who is interested in productivity coaching, Dr. Tsung, tell us where they can find you and how can you help them?
Yeah. Thank you for having me here. You can find me on productivitymd.com. I am what I do. Productivitymd.com is something I started while I was working full time. While I am working full time with NASA still. Just came back from maternity leave last week, actually. Because of what I've learned in terms of efficiency and productivity, I was able to start this company, Productivity MD, while working full time and grew it to a six-figure coaching company. And what I do is I teach entrepreneurs and doctors to become time creators themselves, to create more free time, to do whatever you want, so you never sacrifice your time with the people you love. And we talk about neuroscience, which is a lot what we talked about, and then also AI, so which we touched on a little bit. For everybody, if you don't take any action from this, other than fix your sleep first, then ChatGPT is a band-aid if you don't fix your sleep. Anyway, but if you fix your sleep, nutrition, your movement, then the next assistant, the cheapest assistant you can get is ChatGPT, paid at $20 a month. It will at least save you 1 hour a day, which would you pay $20 a month to save you 30 hours a month? Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. Gosh. Oh my gosh. We won't even go there. But yeah, I mean, if anyone's not using AI, it's just such a lost opportunity because the AI, whether it's ChatGPT or whichever program, it just can do in like 2 minutes what will take us a full day. So we should definitely be using AI. And I am still learning, as I'm sure most of us are. But thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And let's all go get some sleep. Let's move. Movement is good for everything. So thank you so much for coming and um, let's go be productive.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And the one thing I didn't mention, social media, you can find me on Tsung MD as well. And currently, my only offer is one-on-one 1 year of time creator coaching. But you can find me in my podcast, Productivity MD. All the tips are there as well. So thank you again, Laura, for having me on the show.
All right. Thanks so much.